Matt.
And you know her.
Yeah, she's going over to a boutique or something. So how'd the hunt go? Tell me about it.
Terrible.
No.
Terrible. I did 10 days hunting. 7 of the 10 days I did 10 plus miles hiking. Never heard or seen a single elk. I didn't hear a bugle the whole hunt.
Oh no.
One night elk bugled at started at 9 o'clock at night straight across from camp. Bugled all night long. But then
gone in the morning.
Just shut up. No, he was still there. We glassed him, but it's so thick in there you just can't do anything.
So they weren't really going hard then?
No, it was. I watched an elk. I watched a bull elk with 6 cows. Came out, was feeding. I watched another bull with 4 cows. He came up through the timber, and he literally walked. He walked that other bull 100 yards away from his cows, and then he stood. So that bull was here.
Yeah.
The bigger bull was here, and those 10 cows were here. And he walked back and took those 10 cows and left, and that other bull just stood there.
Oh my God.
Didn't even put up a fight. It was just like, you know what? You can have them.
Jeez.
So I don't know. It was pretty warm, so I don't know if the heat had them going or what.
Yep.
But they just weren't.
Well, everybody is wondering, Matt went on an elk hunt in Colorado, and sounds like it didn't go as great as it's gone in the past. But
Did see a mountain lion.
oh, that's cool.
Super cool.
Yeah, how close was he?
1,500 yards.
All the way across.
It was in the binoculars, way up
Yeah.
on this big ridge. So, but to see one is
Yeah, that's really cool. Matt's gonna give me a haircut this morning. This is a Deluxe Barber Shop in Corry, Pennsylvania. I'll put his info on here if you guys are interested, and I'll vlog it so you can see how good a job he does. Because he's one of the best around, that's a fact. And he's right up my alley and right up your alley if you're watching these videos. This is a bear he killed last year right here in Pennsylvania. It's freaking huge. He weighed
360.
360? Gosh, it looks even bigger than that. That just shows you a 500-pound bear is unbelievable. You know, when someone says, oh, 520. Are you kidding me?
Imagine seeing that come walking through the woods.
Oh my gosh. So what's crazy, Matt? So the very next day, or 2 days later, it's the next time I was in the stand after I killed HLB. It had been 2 days. I'm like, I gotta get back out there. Like, I get home from work. I'm like, I'm just grabbing my bow. I'm gonna go. I'm like thinking, well, where's my, where do I have the most bear activity the last 2 weeks? I'm like, well, down in Cherry Ridge on that point. So I'm like, well, I'm gonna go sit in the stump 3, just enjoy the evening.
Yeah.
I'm sitting there. An hour after I get in there, I'm just kind of sitting there playing on my phone. I see movement out of the corner, right out into the food plot. 15 yards comes a black bear. I'm like, what is happening? So I grab the camera, I get the camera on it and videotape, and I grab my bow, and my bow, I'm not used to hunting out of those blinds very much, so I didn't know if it's better to hang it or use the stand. Like, there's a 3-leg stand you have it on, so I had it on the stand. So I grabbed my bow and I go to pull back, and when I drew back, the corner of that stand hits my tripod, knocks it over, hits the blind, the bear takes off. But I'm like, what?
A good sized bear?
No, it wasn't.
Well, then you seen the bobcat.
Thankfully, yeah. I saw a bobcat. Yeah. Thankfully, though, it wasn't the big. So there's 2 bears that are big bears on ours. And when I say big, probably 250, 200 pounds. This one was the 140-pound one.
Yeah.
It's the smaller of the ones that are there. So, but still, what are the odds, It's like, man, I should go play the freaking lottery. It's crazy.
Yeah, probably should.
This window is extremely clean. Is that?
Yeah.
I was looking through it. I'm like, is that even a window?
I pay a professional cleaning company.
They do a really good job.
Yeah,
I kind of go into a fog where I'm not, it's just weird. And I remember I drew back, and I remember at the time looking over at the camera and seeing that he was off the camera and just thinking,
don't matter.
I'm not doing it. And he was just about to that scrape, and he stopped and just did one last look, and I set the bottom pin on his back and just slowly went down through to the my first pin, and just got his.
What'd you shoot him at? How many yards?
23 yards. And I remember thinking, don't jab, because that's one thing I've done in the past is punch.
Yep.
And I just set my finger on the trigger and just slowly let it go, and it went, and then like, he's dead.
Did this just happen?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I actually turned the camera off and just sat there for a while and took it in. Like,
it's funny because I cut Brock's hair. When night did I cut Brock's hair? Monday night I came in to do a few haircuts, and I was talking to Brock, and I was like, man, according to what Cliff's been posting thus far, I'm like, he isn't even going after HLB much.
I was waiting for the right situation.
Yeah. Yeah, I get it. You don't want to bump him out of there. The last thing you want to do.
Mm-hmm. I needed a good southwest wind or a good west wind, and the reality of it is, opening morning, I really hurt myself down there by going in there and there's no wind, and it caused my scent to just be stagnant there, because I was getting him every morning coming up in there to bed. He was bedding right off the corner of our field. There's some thick, where the sun gets in there in the corner, there's some thick brush and, a lot of that, what they call pokeberry. And they're actually eating that.
Yeah, those little purple berries.
Yeah, I never really knew that deer ate those that much.
I wonder if they only eat it because no, that wouldn't make sense.
They're eating the leaves
if the food
and stuff
source
too.
is low, but you have luscious,
food,
beautiful food source right there for them.
So I went in there opening morning knowing that I might have a pretty good opportunity at them, and I just had issues from the start. There were so many deer out in those beans that I can't get through it. You're just blowing deer everywhere. So on my way in, I blew a bunch of deer out of there, and of course those deer are running back into where HLB was coming up out of, which was the creek bottom. And then I had, numerous does that just were onto me. They were smelling me, and then I had one blow 100 times, and then I'm
That's
like,
when you shot.
yeah, I'm like, I'm not dealing, I can't. So I did hurt myself that opening morning with him, but things calmed down after 4 or 5 days, and then I finally started getting him back, hitting that scrape line, and I knew that his tendencies are going to change anytime, when he gets into that rut mode, and so I knew that I had a good chance on that scrape line, because that's a scrape line 2 years in a row that he's hit hard early on. And I've gone, I went back and looked at all my trail cam videos and pictures of HLB and kind of noted, where he was at what times of the season and how he transitioned throughout the season. And I knew early on he sticks, even when, that field was corn, and he stuck tight to that field early on, and it worked out,
Yeah.
The access is huge too, because that's a spot I could hunt hard and not ruin things.
Right.
I'm only 20 yards off the edge of our field there, and with a good southwest or west wind, I can get in and out of there pretty well undetected. And especially, with them harvesting those green beans finally, there wasn't the amount of deer that I was going through to get in or out,
Because they got bumped off by that.
Exactly. So it was kind of a perfect storm, really, in the end that worked out. It's kind of bittersweet, though.
Yeah, it's kind of
hunting.
It's like
deer
one of those
like
things,
that.
you get the thought starts going through your head that you will not have that deer on camera next year.
I know, or even not one of the most exciting things. I'd wake up every morning at 5:30 and just instantly boom, I'm wide awake because I wanted to check myself. What's he doing?
Yeah, where's he at?
Now you wake up and HLB's not on the cell cams anymore. He's gone.
Who's mounting him for you?
Mason Jacoy.
Jacoy?
Yeah, Jacoy.
He's gonna do it for you?
Yeah.
They're in Lottsville?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He had reached out about giving it a try, and I always like, especially young taxidermists that are just getting started. It's fun to give them the opportunity to do that and get them out there.
Are you okay with that on a buck like this, though?
Yeah, I think that I trust him. I've seen.
I'll tell you what. He did my buddies, and my buddy butchered him. My buddy butchered his deer when he skinned it.
Oh, really?
And Jaquay did the mountain. I thought he still did a really good job for how much he messed up the Kate.
I know he's a young taxidermist, but there's I talked to Daniel Burkholder at the archery shop for a while, and he's mentored by a really good taxidermist that had worked for Morrison or something.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm sure that he'll be able to help him, and I think he'll do a good job. I hope he does. Real easy to work with, easy to talk to.
Yeah, he is.
What about you? Are you getting any big deer on camera?
I don't even have a camera out this year, buddy, to be honest with you. This year, my daughter and my son both wanted to hunt. And so I thought, you know what, I'm going to just skip trail cameras because
Yeah.
I want them to understand. I want them to understand what hunting is like without that. You know what I mean? Like you're just going out and trying to find them.
Yep.
And
well, and they're at their stage. They're not looking for any particular deer, anyways. They're hunting.
Yeah. Yep. And so, but you know, my time is so hunting is just super hard for me to come by. You know what I mean? I work every day till 6, and then Saturdays I'm here till 4.
Yeah.
It's like, yes, Saturdays I could probably sneak out and get into a stand, but it's hard, you know.
Oh yeah. Well, and then if of course you've got all those kids, so if
you go, it always wants to go.
If you go home and then you just leave, your wife's probably like,
yeah, don't worry.
Yeah.
And so that's why it's like, okay, just take one of the kids, because then she's like, oh, good, you took a kid. But then the setup process is.
Oh yeah, you gotta make sure you got a good quiet blind.
I'm setting up the. We did get out Monday, me and my daughter. You
need
know,
to get some of those stump blinds.
So we did, just.
Oh, perfect.
Just a little blind and.
Yeah. Boy, she's really growing. Holy crap.
Yeah, she's big. She's like tall. And so.
That'll be fun though to see that they're getting into it.
Yeah, and that's just a cheap blind. I'm gonna get some more. I actually was gonna jump on and get some of those that you had posted, the Tidewee.
Yeah, the see-through blinds.
The see-through ones, but
yeah, they're pretty sweet.
Well, when's your next Ohio trip?
I was gonna go maybe tomorrow, but now I'm not because it's supposed to be a washout. So I'm getting my freaking butt waxed out there. The first time I went out there, I never saw a deer. Second time, I saw one big doe, and she winded me. That was it. I'm getting my butt waxed.
I mean, things even out, I guess, you know?
Yeah.
You're doing so good back home, I guess, don't want you to have too much.
Yeah, exactly.
Things can't be too good, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Yep, you're right.
You gotta have struggle somewhere.
Yeah, I know. It's almost a blessing that my camera got knocked over with that bear the other day, because I'm sure I'm going to get an opportunity at a bigger bear at some point on our farm, you know.
Yeah. Have you killed one with a bow yet?
Yep.
Okay. I thought you did that.
Yeah, that's really exciting.
I think that's probably the only way I will honestly shoot another bear is if it can be with a bow.
Mm-hmm. I got like 2 acres of standing corn right down where I oftentimes have a lot of bear activity, even with no corn, you know what I mean? So yeah. I should have a really good opportunity to, in fact, I had a pretty nice bear going in there yesterday during daylight. And I was just down there too, so. I've actually noticed that happen numerous times where you check a camera and the very next thing there's a bear. Like they're curious, or they smell something interesting, and curiosity, you know.
That was something I did try with the one elk that we glassed. Was I was almost positive I knew where he was bedded just because we had found a bed in there previous years, and it's almost like if he's in there, he's got to be in that bed.
Yep.
And so I went in there the one day and I caused a big old ruckus and bugled like crazy and broke brush, and then I just shut up and I ran up the mountain about 100 yards and I bugled one last time, and then I came straight back down to where I was calling from originally, in hopes that maybe a big mature bull would come to check what the heck was that, you know what I mean? And he never came, but it was worth a shot.
Yeah.
And nothing else was working. Dude, that video of you Meleeing those pigeons was pretty fun too.
Yeah.
One that you freaking
Just
literally
loaded.
blew it in half.
Yeah. Yeah, that pigeon got too close.
Yeah.
That's fun. Shooting pigeons.
I'll tell you what, you freaking, you know a guy who shot a lot, because I'm not a very good shot. You should get a guy like me on your video just for someone to laugh at.
Yeah.
I'm like bad, dude. I'm bad. Like, out of all those pigeons you shot, I would have maybe hit the one that was like 6 feet away.
Yeah.
I'm not a very good shot, but I've never been, big. I never got into that. You know what I mean?
You know what's amazing that people don't ever believe me, but pigeon is really good. Like, they taste
I can see it.
good.
I mean, think about dove. Like, dove's delicious. I love dove. I mean, a little nugget, but.
Weren't pigeons originally brought here for food?
Mm-hmm.
What do you say?
Pigeons were brought here for food. They had pigeon farms for back in the day.
Yeah.
If you had duck, goose, pigeon, quail, you name it, I'll grab that pigeon all day long and eat it. Surprisingly, they're really good.
You know what I had the other day? Because my buddy raises some quail, some Bob Whites, for no reason, just because they're cool.
Yeah.
But he has a neighbor lady who is very like, live off the land.
Yeah.
And so he was talking with her and said, hey, do you have any use for any of these quail eggs? She was like, yeah, I'll hard boil them and pickle them. And she did, and he gave her a thing, and he didn't like them, so he gave them to me.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my gosh, they were delicious.
Can you taste like the vinegar and stuff in it? Or?
Very little. She was, I don't know if she was just phenomenal or what, but they were perfectly cooked. Delicious. If I'm out your way one of these days, if I swing to the pad, can I get a hat and a shirt?
Yeah,
from you
absolutely.
right at your house.
Yeah,
I come out that way often, and I'm like,
I
say I want a shirt, and I'm like, I'm gonna stop at his house one of these days instead of.
Yeah, absolutely. Welcome anytime.
Come teach me how to drink beer. For me, it's just I don't have time. Like, when you don't, you don't have time. And I was
perfect.
You've been leaving the top a little longer.
Yep, that's perfect.
Skin on the sides.
Yep, bird.
You're the man.
Thanks,
HLB killer.
Yep.
Nailed it.
Yeah, you were probably surprised when you seen the news that early.
I was like, I didn't even see the post at first. I just seen the picture.
Well, Matt did a good job on my hair like he always does. Now we're just sitting here waiting on Kaylee to get done at the boutique. If you guys are interested in a haircut and you enjoyed this barbershop talk, let me know in the comments and maybe we'll do it again. I just wanted to try something new. So we'll see you on the next hunt. Thanks for watching. Jeez, I froze to death.
You interrupted my shopping. You rushed me.
Rushed you? I'm standing out in the cold, freezing.
Well, go back in the barber shop. That was the fastest appointment.